Hello, this is the video for Monday, April 20. Our reading today is Mark 11, verses 1 through 11. As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and just as you enter it, you will find a colt tied there, which no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord needs it, and will send it back here shortly.'" They went and found a colt outside in the street, tied at a doorway. As they untied it, some people standing there asked, "What are you doing, untying that colt?" They answered as Jesus had told them to, and the people let them go. When they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks over it, he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, while others spread branches they had cut in the fields. Those who went ahead and those who followed shouted, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." Jesus entered Jerusalem and went into the temple courts. He looked around at everything, but since it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. In this passage, Jesus reveals himself as king. Coming into Jerusalem riding on a donkey, Jesus brings up images of how King David and his family were pictured and presented to the people of Israel long ago. And the people, recognizing Jesus in this kingly fashion, cry out, "Hosanna, save us." But here's the thing. The people want Jesus to save them from being ruled by the Romans. They want political liberation. But Jesus is the king, and we can't dictate what the king does. We have to submit to the king. And while Jesus certainly is concerned about oppression and political freedom, Jesus' mission isn't about that at this time. Jesus is concerned about another problem, really a deeper problem. Jesus is going to bring spiritual freedom. Jesus is going to save people from sin and death. Jesus knows that freeing the people from Romans doesn't mean anything if they aren't freed from sin and death. So Jesus has in fact come to save, like the people want. But he hasn't come to do things the way that they want, because he's the king. He does what he wants because he wants what's best. And I think that fits in our lives too. Sometimes we want Jesus to do things that aren't actually what's best for us. And Jesus doesn't answer some prayers because he knows more than we do. That doesn't mean that every time our prayer is not answered, it's because we're asking for something bad. But we trust that Jesus is in control, that Jesus is good, and that Jesus is working for our good entirely. What's good for us spiritually, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally. Jesus cares about us as whole people. Jesus undoes all the effects of sin and evil everywhere. That's my thought for today. If you have thoughts or comments or questions of your own, please leave them below. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.